Welcome to another insightful episode of Let's Talk Retail. I am your host, Jitendranath Patri, and today we have the pleasure of speaking with a true innovator in the world of entrepreneurship and retail, Kaizad Hansotia. With over 20 years of entrepreneurial experience, Kaizad has not only co-founded three companies, but also pivoted one, thereby demonstrating his unwavering passion for innovation. He embarked on his entrepreneurial journey at the young age of 15, and since then, he has scaled multiple businesses across industries. In the ever-evolving landscape of fashion, e-commerce, and retail, Kaizad has founded SWIRL, which has emerged as a leader in live commerce. SWIRL's plug-and-play SaaS solution for video shopping and live commerce has transformed how brands engage with customers, driving higher conversions and substantial revenue growth. With his deep understanding of the consumer journey and expertise in full funnel marketing, Kaizad's mission is to create a company that not only thrives but also leaves a lasting impact. Join us as we dive into Kaizad's remarkable journey and explore how he is innovating for the future of retail. So, Kaizad, thank you so much for being here on Let's Talk Retail. Good to have you here.
Thank you so much, Jitin, for having me.
I'm very keen to understand, going through your profile, and you began at the age of 15. So I want to understand what motivated you at the age of 15 to start your entrepreneurial journey.
Well, I come from a community of entrepreneurs who have built industries and kind of revolutionized industries in India. I come from a community called the Parsi community, and I've been deeply inspired by some of the industry stalwarts and their stories like the Tatas and the Godrejs of the world. So while growing up, when I read about their stories, I heard about the tremendous impact that they created in the society and the way they gave it back to the society. And that was, I think, made me feel that this was a great purpose in life to go after. And that's what made me start my own journey. Since I came from a humble middle class background, I realized that the only way up is to put in the hard work, put in the hours. Reputation is key. And I started working by identifying a product and then figured out how can I sell it door to door. And that was my first big break in the business world.
And then what next after that?
And after that, multiple businesses, I practically used whatever money I made. I ended up hiring four people from my college who joined me, and we built into a decent business, enough not only our education fees and loans for our graduation, but also post-graduation. And until then, we started doing multiple businesses from door-to-door sales to education, online education, to jewelry, to travel and tourism, and B2B manufacturing processes. So many. So I've always been a business guy all my life, but I got my first big break in the tech world when I started working in an education technology startup post my MBA in 2012. It was called My Test Buddy. And that company, in a short span of about 3.5 years, ended up scaling to almost 5 million students, close to 300 plus teachers, and that company got acquired. So that was my first experience learning about how to build a product, take it to the market, scale the team and the product, GTM, etc., and then eventually also see it get acquired.
And somewhere in our initial talk, you said you had a pivotal moment that kind of changed a lot of things for you. Why and how did that pivot happen?
Yeah, so what happened is that right after starting My Test Buddy somewhere in 2015, due to a personal pain point actually of my sister, I ended up starting a company called Get Natty, which was an online platform for fashion designers. And we launched it on Women's Day in 2016. And from 2016 to 2017, for about 4 years, we ended up growing the business to more than 30,000 customers. We had about 25 in stores, like a shop-in-shop concept in Bombay, from Delhi to Lower Parel, and also in Ahmedabad, Borakdev. And we had a very strong online marketplace, hyper-local discovery app as well. But when COVID happened, a lot of these stores were shut down. And a lot of our business suffered, like every other entrepreneur or business or brand which is associated in the retail industry. But as an entrepreneur, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? So what happened is that during that downturn, a lot of our loyal customers started requesting to buy products from our online store and mostly from our offline in stores through live streaming, Instagram live streaming they started requesting us to do video calls on Zoom and on WhatsApp. And they started placing advance orders, even though the if you remember the shipment and the logistics, all of that was delayed during COVID. We couldn't really make the deliveries. So they were willing to wait for 2 months, 3 months to get those deliveries and started placing orders. And that kind of was a eureka moment for us when we realized that, hey, the whole reason why we went from e-commerce marketplace to starting on offline in stores was because of the importance of omni-channel experience that consumers demand today. I mean, even today, e-commerce is about 5% of total retail. 95% still happens offline, right? That's where the magic is. And even D2C brands, when they start scaling beyond $100 million in annual revenue, they have to go offline. There's no two ways about it, especially in a market like India. So then the question we asked ourselves is that, can we replicate the in-store experience digitally? Like, can we bring the in-store experience online, or can we bring the human touch to e-commerce? And we could have found that answer while assisting our customers or our loyal customers using video apps. And that kind of made us think that if we could integrate an interactive video component on top of e-commerce, then perhaps we can have a very strong customer experience that can improve conversions, improve sales. COVID or no COVID, this kind of technology is going to become the new normal as we get busier in our lives. And not just busier, right? I mean, we want information on our fingertips. The whole reason why internet was invented is because we wanted this information on our fingertips. So now, even today, before going to the retail stores, even when you are in your own city like Bombay or Baroda, tier 2, tier 1, doesn't matter. A modern day consumer still Googles best restaurants in Baroda or best restaurants in Baroda to go to, which is the right fashion brand that I can get my products that I'm looking for. And if we can kind of help those customers create that experience digitally, then I think we can create a new revolution in retail and D2C. And that kind of eureka moment is what helped us pivot to SWIRL.
Super. I have two questions here as a follow to this, and a beautiful journey. Yes, from all the start, from your start of ed tech to B2B business to what made you enter retail. Yeah, that's obviously part one. And second part, of course, is why live commerce or why video commerce, live shopping, or how, what was the term that's commonly used?
So when we started the journey, initial thesis was that we'll build an e-commerce marketplace for the fashion industry, starting with the designers, the more premium category. We realized that since still 95% of the market is offline, and customers want that one-on-one connect or that human touch, it is going to be imperative for brands to combine offline and online together. Only then we can scale. So that is the biggest learning we had. And hence we started launching an offline in-store concept during our Get Happy days and entered the retail segment because we saw the magic. I mean, every time we used to have an online event, like a pop-up event online on our marketplace, showcasing collections of some of our designers, and then compared the results that we got, compared that having an offline pop-up event at a store or an exhibition was like 7x, 10x difference. Right? So I think we're in love with the retail industry around 2018 when we started experimenting with offline strategies, and we realized that the magic of customer interaction just isn't there online. And the way you showcase your product, the way you build relationships and rapport with your customer can do wonders, because once the customer has a good experience with a brand, then they want to keep coming back. It's like you investing some of your time behind, like it's behind one person, and then that person continues to give you benefits year after year. You don't see that kind of LTVs in the online world. So both from a business standpoint and from a unit economic standpoint, business model and unit economic standpoint, we kind of fell in love with retail back then.
But why live commerce?
So what happened is that during the pandemic, right, a lot of our loyal sort of customers started using live streaming and WhatsApp videos and all these live video apps. But then even after the pandemic got over, what happened is that, and back then we just launched a short video, by the way, feature. We didn't even have live commerce back in 2021. We just had a short video technology with e-commerce embedded on top of it. We call it a shoppable video. So it's like Instagram Reels, but with built-in e-commerce features. So we didn't have that, but even post-pandemic, a lot of our customers started requesting to do these live streaming events on and off. And a lot of brands started reaching out to us. I think partly because of the crazy explosion that brands have witnessed in China, where roughly $700 billion worth of sales happened through live commerce alone last year, this year, sorry, accounting almost for 15% of total e-commerce sales came in through live commerce. And perhaps they started way early, probably 7, 8 years ago before everything started in India. So the revolution that has happened there, and then the way brands are seeing the average order values go up by 3, 4 times, especially when a customer buys through a live streaming event, or the way the returns reduce by 50%. It's like you are buying probably impulsively, but then even when you're buying impulsively through a live stream event, it's still like an educated purchase because you're talking to the host, you're getting a response in real time. You can see the product and its practical application. It's not just a bunch of Photoshop images that you're just hoping that is what you'll get when it gets delivered to your doorstep. You can actually see the product in real time. So that really makes a lot of difference. And I think that is why a lot of brands started reaching out to us. We did our due diligence and we realized that it's escalating at a breakneck speed, the kind of adoption we are seeing in especially in the Southeast Asia and Asian economies like China. We were quite bullish about how it can, and as personal experience also told us that this could be kind of a game changer. So that's when we decided to enter the live stream commerce industry. Last year there was this, I think recently a video also went viral by Ravi, but there's this lipstick brother who last year sold close to $2 billion worth of just lipsticks through a single live stream
Wow.
event in China. That's the
Wow.
kind of, that's the kind of GMV that some e-commerce companies in India do, right? There is a key opinion leader in China. I forgot her name, but Ria or somebody like that. She brought in $37 billion worth of sales through her live streaming events in the entire year for multiple brands. $37 billion.
My God, that's possibly as much as funding that all of the e-commerce companies in they would have got.
Yeah, exactly. So I think why is this happening? Today 17 hours of average times is spent by Gen Z watching video content every single month. So that just tells you that video consumption has become the new normal. In fact, today, 83% of global internet traffic is video. So I think video is not just here to stay. It's become an integral part of our lives. And it's just a matter of time where entrepreneurs, brands figure out way to build their own purchase funnels and conversion journeys on top of it. Because it's like consumers are adapting to it, like it or don't like it. You have to adapt and go in that direction and maybe even start thinking to out innovate your competition to stay ahead. And that's what we
True.
tell a lot of our brands, our customers, whether it's D2C or retail brands who are now trying to go to D2C. If they want to stay ahead in the game, then they need to think about how can they enhance their customer experience, create like this very authentic, unforgettable moment so that customers want to keep coming back to them both online and offline.
So that's how SWIRL happened. 2021.
That is correct.
Yeah. 2021, not even 2 years, but you seem to have done a fair bit in this 2 years. There's been
Yeah.
quite a bit of progress. There's quite a bit of acceleration the company itself has done. What is it? And so are you saying that through this, is India ready? Firstly, is India ready for something called live commerce?
Yeah. Good question. Lot of pundits in the industry have also asked me that question, and a lot of them have varying opinions on this. But look, first of all, let me tell you from our personal experience, the adoption to live commerce has kind of outpaced our or surpassed our expectations. And we've got use cases in industries that we never really thought was possible. We started with fashion,
Interesting. Mm.
and only fashion, and obviously the obvious categories like beauty and personal care started adapting. But we've seen jewelry brands selling jewelry from 2,000 rupees to 25,000 rupees selling on a live stream. We have seen automobile brands like TVS selling bikes worth 2.5 lakh rupees, launching their bike through live stream in India. So I think we've seen electronic brands like Vivo, for example, one of our clients. Tomorrow, they have a live stream event scheduled. They are launching a big iQOO 12 model on 12/12. So it's like the stars are aligned for them. And they're doing this big launch. So every time there is a product launch happening, not only do they do offline activation events, but they also do an online live stream with both their new and existing customers and give them a taste of what this new product is all about. And a lot of these retail brands or consumer brands, especially the ones who are now adapting to digital technologies, especially post the whole digital transformation wave, are all looking at creating better experiences. So I think we are quite excited about the adoption now. Now, if you compare this with China, of course, we are significantly early. It will probably take probably at least another 2 to 3 years for us to get to an adoption to, let's say, about close to 5% of total e-commerce in India coming from live commerce. I think we are about 2 years away. In 3 years, we assume that at least 10% of total e-commerce will come from live, which is anyway still $100 billion opportunity. So it's huge. It's going to be a very important part way how consumers interact with brands, and it's not something that you can ignore. And the earlier you start, the better it is for you, because there's going to be a learning curve. It's a new technology, new experience. It's like the whole funnel has to be rethought. Some marketers tell me that they they tried with live streaming once and they didn't get a lot of success, but that's because nothing you do or try once is going to give you success. You have to keep trying it multiple times. You have to iterate. You have to then refine your strategy and then learn from the feedback and improvise. And we have seen consistently that the brands who have invested at least 3 to 6 months of not just their time, money, and resources, but also conviction on video and live commerce have always seen incredible results. Results like at least 3 times higher conversion rates compared to their e-commerce. Between anywhere like on the lowest, we have seen 4%. On the highest, we have seen 12% conversion rate. Average time spent, we have seen increase by at least 3 to 4 minutes on the lower side. On the higher side, we've seen about 17 minutes of average time spent by a consumer. The average order value, we have seen at least increase by 2x to sometimes even 3.5x as well. The return on ad spend every time you do video commerce is also what we have seen, at least 50% jump compared to ads that you run on a static e-commerce landing page versus a shoppable video landing page. So I think the numbers speak for themselves, and the more you make video based e-commerce key component of your funnel, the better results you'll get over a period of time.
During the intro, which I just recorded before you came on, I spoke about full funnel marketing and the customer journey and the full funnel marketing. So I really want to ask you, what is this full funnel marketing and how are marketers taking complete advantage of this?
I've probably interacted with almost 500 plus brands in the last 5, 6 years. A lot of these D2C brands usually focus on bottom of the funnel. Now, obviously, it can't blame anyone. It is important to focus on bottom of the funnel. But then we have seen that some of the best brands in the world typically look at bottom of the funnel being a byproduct of all the activities that you do at the top and the middle. And if you're going to focus on telling the story of your brand, let's say you've got an amazing client, amazing customer called Traya. They use to tell the story about their brand, about how their customers' life was impacted after using Traya products. What was it like before? And there are not just 5, 10, 15, but there are literally hundreds and hundreds of UGC videos that they have created, and they just keep coming with it. You're like every single week, you see fresh new content, customers are talking about it. And that has driven such an incredible story around their brand and so much of awareness about Traya that the top of the funnel has become extraordinarily impressive. I mean, when they started with SWIRL and they started using our shoppable video technology, which is the one that I spoke about earlier, not live commerce, but the short form video, they were at about 200 orders a day a year ago. And now they are doing about 1,200 orders a day. So they've scaled 6 times in the last 1 year alone. And that's because they have made video as the key component of their entire funnel. So number one, they are using shoppable videos, which are actually UGC videos, right? They're not branded content created by an influencer or an agency, but that's like customer videos created to tell the story about the brand and drive awareness. Then they use SWIRL to share the shoppable video link in their performance marketing and ad campaigns to land customers on that particular video on their website. And as soon as they land on that website, they've got a call to action for consumers to take the hair test, which is when they get the customers to enter the middle of the funnel. Over there, they can they get into the consideration phase. There are different nudges that the brand does with the customer, ask them the right questions, give them some options to choose from. In case a customer breaks away from the journey or drops off from the journey, then they get multi-channel nudges on their email, on their website, etc., along with the same video content to bring them back into the funnel. And then at the end, there is obviously a transaction, checkout, buy now, call to action, through which they get customers to transact at the bottom of the funnel, again, using the same video experience. And then you'll not believe they also use shoppable videos post sales. So even after you have purchased a product, you get our APIs, you get a programmatically created shoppable video carousel telling you how to use the product, how to take care of it, how to reorder it, if there are any new launches, new offers available. So they are constantly engaging consumers with a video first experience. And that has completely changed their game. And we have seen a lot of brands, even like Vivo, for example, from traffic into performance to offers and to discounts and to lead generation to conversion, their entire sales funnel, they're using video commerce. So we are now pretty much convinced that brands who are going to think about the entire funnel versus just one stage of the funnel, like bottom of the funnel, are going to get significantly better LTVs because they've created the right brand narrative around that brand slash product, and also enhance the customer experience using new age technologies like video commerce, so that customers want to keep coming back to them.
So, for a brand retail, be it fashion, be it personal care, be it jewelry, could be anything that within the Indian retail ecosystem, what can they expect from SWIRL?
I'll give you a example of a fashion brand, Malmal, and maybe I'll give you another example of a footwear brand, Puma. Both are our clients. So Malmal, after integrating with SWIRL, today roughly about 15 to 20% of their total e-commerce business is now coming through SWIRL shoppable video technology. So that is the impact it created, and they have grown their sales close to around 3.5 times in the last 6 months.
Wow.
Right. So that like high level expectation, that is what you can expect. And we do that not just through our product and technology, but we go deep into the customer journey. We understand the pain points at every stage of the funnel, and we create a funnel specific strategy to help you get better results using video commerce. So we have got a very high touch model with our customers, and we typically want to help them accelerate whatever metrics that are relevant for them. Some people are looking for better CACs, some people are looking for higher ROAS, some brands are looking for better AOVs, and so on and so forth. So we can very, very specifically customize that. Similarly, for Puma, for example, after they integrated with Swan in a span of about 3 months, their average click-through rate or their average conversion rate has grown about close to 2.7 times. So there are typical brands who are, let's say, having a million plus traffic on their website, typically see a conversion rate of anywhere between 0. Maybe 75% to 1.5% if you are extremely good. But in this case, on an average, Puma saw a conversion rate of close to around 3.5%. So that is an incredible jump. And now we are figuring out, and we just embedded on their high selling, fast moving kind of a section or a category listing page. And now we are thinking about integrating on multiple pages, including the home page. Let me give you another example of Arvind Brands, who also just recently went live at nnow.com. In just a span of 1 week, By the way, I mean, 1 week is not enough data, and I'm sure our team will evaluate after at least 3, 4 months of integration. But but since they're in the fashion category, in just 1 week from where the products were integrated, their sales have grown about close to 2 times because of a higher conversion rate compared to their earlier conversion rate on their homepage that they were getting. So those are some of the immediate results that brands can look for. Obviously, it's very important to have the right content and the textual placement of that content with shoppable commerce or shoppable technology on top of it. But I think those are the mechanics, nuts and bolts that we can help a brand figure out.
You kind of made a lot of reference towards D2C and e-commerce. How does this help a brand that's where retail today in India, 95% comes from offline? Can this also impact
Yes, I
offline
mean,
store?
we are fairly confident. We did a pilot with pantaloons, and if everything goes well, we should be able to now do a full-fledged implementation. We are also talking to the largest offline electronics multi-brand outlet in the country. And so offline stores are also getting extremely, let's say, disrupted through WhatsApp commerce. Right? WhatsApp commerce is becoming huge. A lot of modern day brands are embedding their QR codes on their packaging products, and then they're using that to distribute those to retail stores from where loyal customers somehow start discovering the brand, and then they want to have a direct relationship with the brand. That's where WhatsApp commerce also come in handy. Same thing with, for example, pantaloons. Every time they wanted to launch a new store, they wanted to go back to their existing customers and tell them, sorry, every time they launched a new collection in that store, they used to go back to their loyal sort of customers and let them know about the new collection that has come inside the store. And guess who used to create this shoppable video and live stream content? It used to be the in-house salespeople, or sometimes it used to be brand associates or brand managers who used to come down to the store and kind of talk about their latest collection or latest product launch in front of the camera. And this shoppable video or live stream used to be broadcasted to their customers on WhatsApp who are loyal customers, and they used to start buying either from this short videos or live stream because they really want to engage and interact. We've got we've got examples of brands who have integrated shoppable video in their WhatsApp commerce workflows. So imagine, let's say you are a Vijay Sales, for example, or a Vivo, and you are getting an inquiry of a customer that, hey, I'm looking for a TV. Can you help? And automatically through WhatsApp, you're sending them a simple link, shoppable video carousel. If you click on that link, under 25,000 rupees worth of televisions from Samsung, Century, Sony, etc., you can see in a shoppable video format. The videos are created by some sales guy on the shop floor, explaining with 30 seconds all the features about this product. So before going to this store, you're able to actually make up your mind which product you want to sell. And that can help brands scale this to a big level and reduce the ability for a salesperson to constantly keep selling every walk-in that is coming into the store. And sometimes customers also buy directly on WhatsApp. Not sometimes, a lot of times. These days, in fact, WhatsApp commerce has also got, on an average, I've seen a lot of quick commerce and WhatsApp commerce companies see about 3 to 4% conversion rate compared to an e-commerce, which is less than 2% anyway. So I think there's a huge opportunity there in some of our customers. Every time there is a new collection also launching, they can also broadcast like a WhatsApp message with a live streaming link and get customers to join. So I think we are pretty much excited to kind of explore that omni-channel slash WhatsApp video commerce approach as well.
It actually gives me a slightly tangential thought or radical thought. You said when it's offline and brands talking to their own customers, a lot of our retail brands in India have got their own loyalty programs. They own their own reward programs. And an average, most brands see about 25, 26, maximum about 30% repeat rates. Do you
Yeah.
think something like this can actually increase repeats of customers?
I think it can incredibly impact their top line and bottom line. I mean, consider this statistic. It's 3 times more expensive to acquire a new customer than to retain an existing one, right? So, and I think that's where again this whole focus on building a brand, top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, comes in handy, and especially the brands who do it right, and especially the ones who have already become big in terms of scales, should definitely leverage loyalty program or as a kind of a means to an end to not just retain their existing customers, but get repeat business from them, leveraging new age technologies like shoppable video and live streaming, because it's a no brainer. I mean, imagine right now what brands typically do is they send them email campaigns or WhatsApp broadcasts telling them about some new collections that have launched and how they can redeem their points on their points by coming to the store. But that's where it ends. All the retail brands want today is that either come to my store or come to my website. Otherwise, I'm not going to give you any information. But today's new age customers want information on their fingertips. And they don't want that static e-commerce experience where you have a bunch of text and image. No, you are talking to a modern Gen Z consumer who's spending 17 hours of time watching video content. So if you can speak their language and communicate your product information in a language that they understand, using video commerce technology, for example, then you can get significantly more conversions using your loyalty program. So imagine this, like, for example, Shoppers Stop comes up with a loyalty program of announcing a specific connection only for their loyal set of customers. Single link. If you click it, you see all the Shopper Stop, some sales folks inside the Shopper Stop displaying that product to you, which is only uniquely handcrafted or only uniquely developed for Shopper Stop loyal customers or people who have this loyalty points. You can redeem online, right? By sitting in your at the comfort of your home through WhatsApp. Just push a button and get the customer to get the brand to deliver the product at your doorstep using your loyalty points. It can completely revolutionize the way, and I would want to do that with the store. I don't want to do it with the e-com website. So there is an opportunity for consumers to interact with stores offline, not just online, but digitally, right? So I think this is a new hybrid model which is already existing out there. It's just that we kind of brands and consumers, probably brands are not paying as much attention, but as we move forward, it is going to become a new normal.
Another great opportunity for to kind of increase wallet share.
Yeah,
Understood, right? Yeah. And one point that you mentioned some time back when you said your conversions on WhatsApp commerce is slightly higher than conversions that you get on the website.
yeah, double,
Yeah.
almost double.
Yeah. Double. Which connects to a thought. Today, personalization has become a big thing.
Correct.
Right? So is somewhere personalization playing a huge role there? And would video commerce, live commerce also increase
Correct.
the level of personalization that a brand can
Yeah,
customer?
very well said. I was just thinking about this today morning. In fact, I was buying something from a brand, and through their WhatsApp APIs, I got this list of products that I wanted to buy. It was so uncluttered, right? And I started thinking to myself that what probably this is the secret of WhatsApp commerce getting better conversion, because if you go to an e-com website, it's like a bazaar. You're kind of bombarded with options, and honestly, like my favorite brand to shop at some point of time, e-commerce brand used to be Mintra. Now it's not anymore because there's so much of endless scrolling. And after some point of time, it's just frustrating. You don't have that kind of time anyway. Very few people do. And even when you do have time, it's just quite, it's not very personalized. But on the other hand, on WhatsApp, there's no clutter. It's not like I want you to buy everything and anything and you choose what you want. On WhatsApp, it's very, very targeted that you push a button, either one for, let's say, push one for television, push two for microwave, for example, push three for refrigerators. And then you get exactly the same options with their catalogs, with their price. It's like a no nonsense approach. Whatever input you give, you get a custom output in return. And that communication is extremely personalized. Right now, obviously, it's being facilitated by chatbots. And very soon, or probably not soon, it's already, now generative AI has already come into the mix with the likes of Haptic and Interact powering this revolution in India for retails and SMB brands. We are going to see a lot of this video commerce integration also already happening there.
And I'm just trying to fathom the kind of a humongous volume of content that's going to be, which means that you need creators and a creator economy that could follow.
Look, video commerce or no video commerce, creator of economies already happened. Number one. Number two, video commerce or no video commerce, globally 82% of internet traffic is already video first, right? So content is already getting created and consumed. The only difference is that brands have not yet figured out how to build conversion journeys on top of it, or e-commerce journeys on top of it. Right now, most of the videos are either used to build brand awareness, or some brands are using it to run performance apps. That's it. Most of the use cases end here. It's not really used to create a shopping experience yet. And that's what we are saying that. So what we also are starting to see is that at least at least 70-80% of the brands who we work with initially in their first 3 months period are already having so much of video content which is lying there, and the only thing it is giving them is views and likes. And now with SWIRL, they can immediately convert those video content pieces into shoppable videos without creating any new content. So that is step one. And then immediately sees them uptake. And then step two, anyway, again, video commerce and more video commerce, you have to keep creating content, because it's all about creating the right content for the right target audience that can help you to cut through the clutter and tell your story, right?
Right.
So brands are anyways going to do it. Now they have to, obviously, you're right, they have to do it more better and more sharper with the right positioning and targeting. And of course, the content creation is going to go through the roof as more and more video commerce adoption happens. But I think what I'm trying to say is that it is going to become a very natural extension to what people are doing today, rather than being something that you're forced to do.
Understood.
I mean, I'll tell you this, Jitin, right? I've been a part of e-commerce industry for a long time. That's what brands used to say and ask. They used to say, अरे यार e-commerce पे listing करने के लिए photos खींचने पड़ेंगे. इतना खर्चा आता है, बस
Yeah.
कितने SKUs है, कितने
Yes,
SKUs photo
I've
खींच.
heard I've heard those. I've
But
heard those a lot.
अभी कोई बोलता है कि how many photos I have to click here for e-commerce, I can't do that. It's a no, you have to do it. There's no escaping it, right? Same thing is going to happen for video commerce. It's like people are just gonna, and I'm telling you, I'm already seeing brands come up with this very smart techniques to create video content at zero cost. Like their sales people creating content, their in-house brand team creating content. Sometimes interns are creating content, right? And you would be surprised to see the kind of talent that you see in especially young people. Right?
And I think you're right. No, Gen Z is talking to Gen Z, so they know exactly what they're looking for
Yeah.
and what they need. I think it's all about brands looking at this content, creating this content, looking at it and saying, yeah, how do I monetize it?
Correct.
Yeah.
Quickly. Exactly.
So if the monetization can result in additional revenues, why not? With things getting tighter and tighter,
Correct.
Yeah.
Exactly.
sure, this opens up a whole new avenue for revenue generation.
Yeah.
I know China is way ahead of India and possibly the world itself. Somewhere I'm also reading that live commerce is slowly seeing traction globally.
Yeah.
Any key trends that you're observing that you think will disrupt?
Number one, I think this whole WhatsApp commerce, and I don't know if I should call it as omni-channel sales or remote sales, or I don't know, probably a new term will have to get coined. But the ability for retail companies to sell to customers remotely, but through digital mediums like WhatsApp, this category is going to become extremely big in a very short period of time, because 95% of retail today is offline, and most of that retail is because of your trust that you've already built with your retail brand or your choice of retailer that you're already engaging with since years and months, etc. But now you have to do it digitally, or a combination of digital and offline, rather than a pure offline walk-in store experience. So that is one trend that we're going to see scale very, very fast. Second is that the ability for in-house team members, or we call them as KOEs, key opinion employees. The ability for your next generation of employees to become content creators for a brand and be able to articulate the brand story, the product story, and connect with the consumer, help them get through their purchase journey, help them shorten purchase journeys using new age technologies like video commerce, and tomorrow it could be something else as well, is going to become a significantly big trend, especially for brands. So I think that is the second big thing. Third, we also see a lot of, again, obviously, generative AI, but using generative AI, what we are seeing and we are also integrating that is that the ability to customize the same content for different demographics, audiences in different languages, which are native to them, using the same video content and generative AI is going to become extremely common in the time to come, using all these lip sync methods and auto transporting functionalities. And you've already seen that, right? Like Mark Zuckerberg on Facebook giving a like a podcast session in English, and then the same is translated into Hindi with his lip sync, and you don't even realize you feel that he's taking Hindi, right, and then the same thing is translated to Tamil and so on and so forth. So I think that technology is also going to become an extremely important piece of how a brand would, because the next wave of e-commerce growth or digital commerce is going to come from tier two, tier three, tier four, hands down. And also I've heard this from many brands that the loyalty is also significantly high, brand loyalty in these tier two, three, four cities. So I think that customizing your experiences to suit that audience persona in their native language, etc., is going to become a big trend. These are the top three. There are many more. This whole virtual avatars, or I don't know if I should call them as avatar, but there are virtual live streaming hosts, for example. There are automatically creating content, but I don't know how big they will become. Right now, they're still in its infancy. Um, for example, we're working with a tech company in US to bring video intelligence to analytics and intelligence piece for brands in India. You haven't seen that so far. Probably the likes of TikTok and Instagram might have that kind of data analytics or data science intelligence. So I think we are also going to see a lot of brands use incredible amount of data science, with now the AI and everything becoming extremely cost effective to more personalize their customer journeys and
So,
scale.
so do you also see a role for conversational AI in all of this?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that is already existing
Is it?
what time says. So I didn't put that into the mix because I think वो तो काफी time से and but what is happening with conversational AI is that it's going to create a significantly more deep, especially in India, deeper purchase journeys or deeper conversational journeys on WhatsApp. That is where it's going to, and interact, by the way, which is about of haptic, is doing an incredible job for that in India.
It's a tremendous journey in a pretty short period of time, which brings me to two questions. So where do you think you're going to go from here now? I'm sure you're talking to a lot of brands in India. You want to see this being adopted by brands in India. So what next? That's part one. And the second part is there will be a lot of other entrepreneurs who will be keen to make an impact in the retail industry. Your learnings that you can share with them for those aspiring entrepreneurs.
Number one, what's next for SWIRL? I think we believe that we are just kind of scratching the surface. It's like a tip of the iceberg in terms of the opportunity that it holds in the entire retail industry in India. We are still fairly early in categories like fashion, beauty and personal care, health and wellness, electronics. These are some of our top categories, but still we are fairly early. So there's an incredible ground to cover, and we are very excited about entering new categories because new industries like, for example, automobile and TVS is now, yeah, they're planning a lot more live shows. I can't reveal too much about it, but we are quite excited about how automobile, for example, is getting into this category. We've got a property tech series A fund startup who is selling homes, right, using videos. I mean, the whole reason they went viral is because of a video posted by an influencer, which got millions of views, talking about one of their properties that they are time sharing it with 10 other members. So I think prop tech, fintech, automobile, and so many other categories are travel tech, by the way. One of the largest hospitality and travel and hospitality companies have approached us because they want to integrate video commerce in their direct to consumer journeys to sell more travel packages because they want to, it's all about experience, right? At the end of the day, it's all about experience. So
Correct.
it's a no brainer. So we are quite excited about scaling to new categories and also obviously covering a lot of grounds in existing category in India. And also we're quite excited about the possibility of the whole India to global story because I think we're lucky to be at the right place at the right time, being market leaders in India and also having some decent traction or early use cases in other countries like Middle East and in North America. We are quite excited to get this to global as well. And you'll see a lot more news
I
coming.
look forward. And what learnings you pass
Yeah.
on to
So
somebody who
then I tell this to myself first, and then I tell this to my team every time. The number one thing, I mean, before building, I mean, if you're targeting any the retail industry, whether it's a B2B or B2C, especially B2B, then it doesn't matter. Any doesn't matter what mode you choose, but you should go and walk into that store of that retailer, spend time, purchase something, go through that entire journey or online store. For example, before we got, let's say, right now we just signed up a very large retailer. They are a $5 billion market cap in India. Before signing them up, we actually went to their stores, went through their entire journey, bought a few products. We went online, went through the journey, purchased a few products, and at every and the journey is not straightforward. It's not like I push a button like to cart and check out, right? I I had some questions I wanted to ask, I wanted to do research, and then I ended up making a purchase. So that was a slightly back and forth. So we kind of understood that journey, and then based on that, we approached them. So our approach to our customer is highly customized, understanding their pain points and marrying their pain points with our value proposition is where we were able to crack them. So I think that is what I would say, that you have to go extremely deep into the funnel or the journey, whether it's B2B. Even you're building a B2C company, you have to go extremely deep into this category, purchase from as many competitors or potential competitors that you have right now, go to as many stores as possible and learn from their experience and see what is the best that they are doing and what is the worst that they are not able to do, and kind of replicate that into your model. It is the ground experience which counts. 90% of founders, entrepreneurs, including me, have made the mistake of sitting in an office, envisioning what or trying to envision what the problem statement might be, and then figuring out a solution or building a product and then taking it to the market, hoping that it will succeed, only to realize that nobody wants it, right? The reality is very different than what we imagine sitting behind the desk. So I think that is the biggest learning that I've had. So
it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you. Fantastic. I mean, I'm still absorbing all that info and the speed at which you're kind of going through and growing. And then obviously wishing you the very best. Thanks so much.
for having me, and it was a pleasure, of course. Always love talking to you, and learning is actually the other way around. So a lot of things to learn from you, but thank you for your time today.